What actually is design thinking? This is a question that we keep asking, right? We often confuse it with design. Is it about designing? That's what we're going to understand in today's session. Why is it that we confuse it with art? Is it because of the word design? Because design is not what it looks like. Everywhere else, design is, yes, if there's an embroidery or there's a painting, design is what it looks like. But actually, what Steve Jobs said, and I often seem to quote him in our talks, but then he said it is how things work, how it works. That's what is design thinking. In other words, whatever that we see around us is all designed. When you say all is designed, everything from an insurance, what the guy does, to how a clock works, to anything, your kitchen apparatus, how your coffee maker works, everything is designed. Okay? Now, they are saying, this David Kelly's famous thought, and let me read this to you. We've moved from thinking ourselves as designers to thinking of ourselves as design thinkers. Now, what does this mean? We need to be thinking of design. And why is that? Because it is very user-centered. Now, when we designed this class, we said it has to be according to what everybody wants. In the sense, is it suitable to their requirement? Is it something that they can access? Because when you're user-centered, what is the most important thing? You automatically problem solve. You don't have to take separate steps for problem solving because you are already catering to what people would want to use. So therefore now comes the next question, is it about thinking or is it about the doing? It's actually about the doing, because it's not just thinking for others, but actually when we do it, when we start this class, we are actually doing things. We're not just thinking, oh, we should offer the class, we should do this, we are actually doing the task of offering. So therefore, from all of what we spoke, we understood that it is very people-oriented. People are what we are focused on. When I say people, trainees, whatever that we are using in our situation, students, end users, customers, they are called the people. And therefore, since you're trying to cater to what they want, it is highly creative. It's very creative because you're trying to make it, customize it to their needs. And it's very hands-on because whenever you're doing, it's very hands-on and it's very iterative. We'll go into each one of them. When you say that it is very people-oriented, the important thing is it is very empathy-oriented. I have to sit in your shoes to know exactly what you want, to say that I'm people-oriented. So that's one thing. Now, another thing is, we said it's very creative. Why are we saying that it's very creative? Because you're creating newer solutions. Something that you're trying to do that's to change the existing alternatives. Speaking of alternatives, we spoke a lot about alternatives earlier. It's very hands-on in the sense that it's not all about the chit-chatting and the discussing. It's about going and working. And therefore, are failures going to happen? Or setbacks going to happen? Yes. You have to be prepared for that. Next is, we said it is very iterative. What does that mean? It is basically trying to understand something, trying to create and then learn. So therefore, it's not like a simple, they call it, it's not a straight line process. You're going through all of these things. It is going to be a little curvy. And it's okay, because only when you do hands-on will we learn. And one day we have to discuss some of the things that we went through in this program to understand that. So therefore, let's say you got an idea for a certain service. Now you have to build on that idea. Once you build it, what do? You launch that idea. Then you go into the learn. Idea and learning, they're one circle. But idea has to be built, launching, and then learning. That's the important thing for us to understand, and that's exactly how we ran this program. Now the question is, how do we use this every day? Okay, when is this kind of thinking, actually useful for our everyday life or helpful? When, what kind of situations we handle? Not regular normal thing. Remember I spoke about normal You're not going to be very creative with that. They say that problems will have to be wicked. What are those? What are those wicked problems? Well, whenever you don't define a problem or you don't even know, we ask our children, right? They come to the kitchen and they're crying, and you're like, wait, you have to tell me what exactly is your problem so I can give it to you. If you're just whining and crying, it's not going to be helpful. So defining the problem, that is very important. This is a very tricky stage. Half the time we don't even know what our problems are. We're just complaining. So therefore, we need to go into that. Now, it's not like all problems are going to be, design thinking will cover everything. What they're saying is, you will need to do some reasonable, rational thinking, what, why, and all of those things. Again, from the intellectual level, I'll tell you at what point wisdom plays a role and what point wisdom will direct intellect to take over the job. So now, first we have to understand, we keep